The forest stood still. An unnatural silence hung heavy in the air. The trees, gnarled and ancient, seemed to watch with knowing eyes. Their branches, twisted like skeletal fingers, intertwined overhead. They formed a suffocating canopy, shrouding the forest floor in perpetual twilight. A chill wind whispered through the leaves, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and decay. It was a place of unsettling beauty, where serenity and dread intertwined. The group of friends arrived at dusk, the sky painted in hues of orange and purple as the sun dipped below the horizon. Laughter echoed through the silent woods, a jarring contrast to the oppressive atmosphere that seemed to cling to the trees. There was Liam, the pragmatic leader, always the one to take charge and ensure everyone stayed on track. Emily, the voice of reason, who often kept the group grounded with her sensible advice. Tom, the adventurous one, always eager to explore the unknown. And Lucas, the skeptic, who questioned everything and trusted nothing. And then there was Emma, the sensitive soul who felt deeply and often sensed things others couldn't. They unloaded their gear, their excitement palpable as they chatted about the adventures that awaited them. This was their annual camping trip, a cherished tradition that allowed them to escape the hustle and bustle of city life and reconnect with nature. As they set up camp, an old woman emerged from the depths of the forest, her presence both unexpected and unsettling. Her eyes held a strange intensity, a mixture of warning and sadness, as if she carried the weight of untold stories.
"Beware. This forest holds secrets," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, but filled with an eerie certainty. "Some things are best left undisturbed," she continued, her words hanging in the air like a heavy mist.
Then, as quickly as she appeared, she vanished into the undergrowth, leaving the friends with a sense of unease and 1,000 questions. Nightfall descended, casting long, eerie shadows that danced menacingly in the flickering firelight. The friends huddled closer, their earlier exuberance replaced by a growing unease. They shared ghost stories, their voices hushed, their eyes darting nervously into the darkness beyond the fire's reach. The wind howled through the trees, sounding like tormented screams. A twig snapped in the distance, sending shivers down their spines. Then a fleeting glimpse of movement at the edge of the woods, a tall, shadowy figure gone as quickly as it appeared. The next morning, tension hung thick in the air. The forest, usually a place of solace and tranquility, now felt ominous and foreboding. Every rustle of leaves, every distant bird call seemed to carry a hidden threat. Liam tried to rationalize the previous night's events, attributing them to their overactive imaginations. He spoke of logical explanations, of tricks of the light and the power of suggestion. Yet his voice wavered, betraying his own doubts. But the others weren't convinced. Their faces, etched with worry, reflected the unease that had settled deep within their hearts. They exchanged glances, each silently questioning the reality of what they had experienced. They discovered strange symbols carved into the bark of the trees, ancient markings that sent a chill down their spines. The symbols were unlike anything they had ever seen, intricate and haunting, as if they held a dark secret. Deeper in the woods, they stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin, half hidden amongst the trees. Its weathered exterior and broken windows hinted at years of abandonment, yet it seemed to beckon them closer. Inside they found a leather-bound journal, its pages filled with frantic scribblings. The handwriting was erratic, the words almost illegible in places, as if written in a state of panic. The words spoke of a curse, of souls trapped in an endless cycle of suffering. Each page revealed more about the dark history of the forest, tales of lost travelers and unexplainable disappearances. Fear, cold and sharp, began to gnaw at the edges of their bravado. The forest, once a place of adventure, now felt like a prison. They huddled together, their breaths shallow, as the weight of the journal's revelations pressed down on them. Panic set in when they realized Tom was missing. They called out his name, their voices echoing unanswered through the silent woods. They searched frantically, their hope dwindling with each passing moment. The forest, once serene, now felt menacing, closing in on them like a predator toying with its prey. The journal's words echoed in their minds. The forest claims those who wander alone. Despair threatened to consume them, each accusing glance a testament to their growing fear. Where had Tom gone?
I saw something.
Emma, always the most sensitive of the group, cried out. A chilling vision had seized her, images flashing before her eyes. She saw Tom, bound and helpless, being dragged towards a clearing, bathed in an eerie, ethereal light. An altar of sorts, constructed from ancient stone, stood at the center. Around it, shadowy figures danced with malevolent glee. The vision faded, leaving Emma trembling and breathless. The others exchanged worried glances. Could they trust her vision, or was fear playing tricks on their minds? As darkness fell, they stumbled upon the clearing from Emma's vision. The air crackled with unseen energy, raising goosebumps on their skin. Before they could react, the shadowy figures materialized from the forest, their eyes burning with a cold, otherworldly light. The friends were surrounded. Terror lent them a desperate courage. They fought back against the ethereal beings, their cries echoing through the night. But the spirits were relentless, their forms shifting and swirling, making them difficult to strike. Lucas, pulled from the group's desperate struggle, vanished into the darkness with a strangled cry. Exhausted and terrified, the remaining friends fled through the dense, dark forest. The shadows seemed to chase them, and every rustle of leaves sent shivers down their spines. They ran until they collapsed, their lungs burning, their hope fading. As dawn approached, the first light of daybreak barely piercing through the thick canopy above, they found themselves at the edge of the forest, facing a dilapidated cottage. The structure looked ancient, its wooden beams creaking with age, and the windows were dark and foreboding. An old man sat on the porch, his presence almost ghostly in the early morning light. His eyes filled with a wisdom born of ages. He was expecting them. With a heavy heart, he motioned for them to come closer, his gaze never leaving their faces. He explained the curse that plagued the forest, his voice heavy with sorrow. It was a tale of betrayal and revenge, a dark history that had bound souls to the woods for eternity. The forest, once a place of beauty and life, had become a prison for the lost souls. Their whispers carried by the wind, their presence felt in every shadow. He revealed the horrifying truth. He was the cause, the curse woven into his very being. His actions, driven by anger and pain, had unleashed a darkness that could not be undone. The curse had marked him, his soul forever tainted, and now it sought new victims to ensnare in its relentless grip. Breaking the chains. There was a way to break the curse, the old man explained, but it came at a terrible price. A ritual must be performed at the stroke of midnight, fueled by a sacrifice of blood. Only then could the trapped souls find peace and the cycle be broken. The friends exchanged determined glances. They had come too far to give up now. They would free their friends and end this nightmare. But who would make the ultimate sacrifice? Race against time. With heavy hearts they gathered the necessary elements for the ritual. They returned to the clearing, the air thick with anticipation and dread. The shadowy figures watched from the forest's edge, their forms flickering with anticipation. The friends worked quickly, their movements precise, their faces illuminated by the eerie glow emanating from the ancient altar. As midnight approached, the old man stepped forward. He placed a hand on the altar, a look of peace settling on his weathered features. Freedom's dawn! With a blinding flash of light and a soul-rending scream, the old man unleashed the power of the ritual. The forest trembled, the very air thrumming with energy. The shadowy figures shrieked in agony as the curse that bound them shattered. The friends watched in awe and terror as the clearing was engulfed in a whirlwind of light and shadow. Then, silence. The forest stood still, the air cleansed, the oppressive atmosphere lifted. Dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of hope and renewal. They were free. Conclusion. Battered and bruised but alive, the friends emerged from the forest. They carried with them the weight of their experience, the chilling memory of the forest of lost souls forever etched in their minds. They had faced their fears, confronted the darkness, and emerged stronger, forever bound by the shared ordeal. The forest, no longer a place of dread, stood as a solemn reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of hope. They had escaped the time loop, but the lessons learned would remain.